Waters are fast-moving.
Unlike other big rallies,
A bit earlier at about 7 a.m., a group from the Coast Guard.
Welcome to #PHVote 2013.
Today on Rappler.
RH law is not unconstitutional. Based on the grounds raised,
The Supreme Court declares the reproductive health law constitutional but strikes down some provisions.
Walang special dito, walang special treatment, only special program dahil yung project po ay township. Ito ang pangarap naming development ng mga developers.
Former Vice President Noli De Castro denies he gave developer Delphine Lee special treatment when he was Pag-ibig chairman. And athlete Oscar Pistorius reveals details of his relationship with the girlfriend he allegedly murdered. Hello, I'm Ai Makaraig, sitting in for Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler Social News Network. After more than a decade languishing in Congress and a year-long order stopping its implementation, the reproductive health law finally passes legal scrutiny. The High Tribunal declares the RH law constitutional except for some provisions. Buena Bernal reports.
Full of grace, the Lord is with you.
Purple and red ribbons representing opposite camps surround the Supreme Court compound in Baguio City. Celebration breaks out as the High Court declares the reproductive health law constitutional.
the court, after a scrutiny of the various arguments and contentions of the parties in the foregoing consolidated cases, consisting of 14 petitions challenging the constitutionality and 2 interventions to uphold the constitutionality of Republic Act number 10354 or the RH law, held that the RH law is not unconstitutional based on the grounds raised.
Longtime advocate Chi Valida saw the growth of the movement. Once sidelined in the media, RH became an issue people want to talk about.
During the early years of the campaign for reproductive health, we feel so defeated because even the media then were telling us you're not front page issue. Social media has really catapulted the discussion, so it has really raised awareness of people, and that has really changed the landscape of our advocacy campaign.
The law funds the distribution of free modern contraceptives, requires government hospitals to provide reproductive health services, and mandates public schools to teach sex education. Lobbyists are keen on asking the High Court to review the provisions it struck down. This includes allowing health workers to follow their conscience in providing RH information.
Ang sa amin, yung saya namin sa matamis na tagumpay na ito ay ibig sabihin, alam namin meron talagang solid na ipanalo ngayon at basehan para sa aming mga susunod na hakbang para kung anuman ang sinabi nilang bahagi ng mga probisyon o seksyon na unconstitutional ay magawan pa namin ng solusyon.
But the Catholic Church, the law's staunchest critic, likens the court decision to the persecution of the saints.
When we remember the Lord, when He suffered and died, before the human courts, He lost. Before the public opinion, they were crying out, crucify Him, crucify Him. And the Lord said His followers would suffer just as He did. We're prepared to suffer. We're very much prepared to suffer. What matters is to teach what is true and good.
Even the CBCP leadership maintains the court ruling waters down the law. The debate is sure to continue on the nuances of the law, even as anti-RH advocates refuse to concede defeat. But as the core provisions of the law are upheld, its impending implementation already spells victory for the RH activists. Buena Bernal, Rappler, Baguio City.
The declaration of the reproductive health law's constitutionality leaves proponents happy and critics disappointed. Former Albay representative and RH principal author Ed Selagman says the provisions struck down by the Supreme Court do not weaken the law. He adds it's more important to leave the core provisions untouched, like providing poor sectors free access to reproductive health services and supplies. He says this monumental decision upholds the separation of church and state and affirms the supremacy of government in secular concerns like health and socio-economic development. Health Secretary Enrique Ona also welcomes the decision.
help us identify or help yung mga mothers or not necessarily mothers but women plan their family. So you go to your doctor to i-refer ka to either a health facility or essentially an obstetrician para ngayong mag-usap kayo kung ano i-advise mo at ipapakita sa iyo what are the options that you have, whether you just do total so-called no more sex, or whether you are going to time your sex up when you are the so-called safe period, or whether you would like to use the pill, or whether you are going to use the IUD, or whether you would like to have tubal ligation. So maraming options.
The Catholic Church led protests denouncing the RH law as evil and at one point threatened President Benigno Aquino with excommunication. Father Melvin Castro of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines says the decision is not a defeat for the pro-life camp. But for RH law principal sponsor Senator Pia Cayetano, the ruling is a victory for poor Filipino women. She says the decision, quote, tells the whole world that the Filipino women are important in our country, that reproductive health rights will finally be acknowledged. Senator Miriam Santiago also hails the ruling, calling it a triumph of reason over superstition. While Cayetano opposes the removal of some provisions, RH law critic Senator Tito Soto says he is vindicated. He says it is a good thing they struck down Section 7 and other provisions we questioned. I was right all along. The court ruled against a portion of Section 7 requiring private health facilities owned by religious groups to refer patients not in an emergency situation to another health facility conveniently accessible. For our social media posts of the day, graduation season's coming to a close and a lot of fresh grads are now on the lookout for jobs. The age-old question still holds. Do graduates from the top 4 universities have it better? We have an ongoing debate on our Facebook post. Some cry out discrimination, while others say employers' prerogative makes things fair and square. Former Vice President Noli de Castro insists the Pag-ibig Fund under his leadership did not give special treatment to Delphine Lee's Globe Asiatic Realty Holdings Corporation or GA. GA is accused of using ghost borrowers and fake documents to obtain 7 billion pesos in loans from Pag-ibig Fund from 2008 to 2010. During a Senate probe into the scam, Senator Coco Pimentel asked about a 2009 Memorandum of Agreement between Pag-ibig and GA. The agreement allowed GA to be the sole developer to obtain 5 billion pesos in loans and a 5-year buyback guarantee. Under the usual arrangement, other developers can only loan a maximum of 500 million pesos a year from Pag-ibig and have a 2-year buyback guarantee. Pimentel asked De Castro to explain why the agency gave preferential treatment to Lee's firm. De Castro denies any special treatment.
Ayoko pong tawaging a special treatment, but this is a special program. And it's not a regular, it is under the regular program. The only difference, ang pagkakaiba lamang po, ay 5 billion pesos ang involved na pera. Pero ipauutang ho ng initial line na 500 million pesos. At pag naubos mo yung 500 million pesos, kinakailangan ang performing accounts ratio mo ay 95%. So dapat yung 95% na yun ay pinangangalagaan po ng Pag-ibig. Nasisigurado nila na yung 95% ay talagang totoo bago ka pautangin uli ng Pag-ibig. So wala hong special dito, walang special treatment, only special program dahil yung project po ay township. May simbahan, may munisipyo, may high school, may palengke, may plaza. So ito ho ang pangarap naming development ng mga developers.
The question was prompted by Lee's previous admission in the Senate investigation that GA, not Pag-ibig members, paid monthly amortizations to maintain good standing with the agency. The Supreme Court en banc will take up the petition of Senator Bong Revilla to suspend the Ombudsman's probe into his alleged involvement in the pork barrel scam. Supreme Court spokesman Theodore Tez says the High Tribunal will look at the merits of Revilla's petition and the written replies of the government and other concerned parties. Revilla faces plunder charges for supposedly channeling public money to fake NGOs in exchange for multi-million peso kickbacks. Revilla brought the petition to suspend the probe to the Supreme Court after the Ombudsman denied it. On April 1st, the Ombudsman announced the indictment of Revilla and 9 others for plunder. Let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 3, Philippine police arrest an Italian diplomat for alleged child abuse. Justice Secretary Leila de Lima says Daniel Bosio was caught in the company of 3 boys ages 8 to 12. Police say the Italian violated the Philippines' law on anti-trafficking and abuse of children. De Lima says Bosio, the Italian ambassador to Turkmenistan, will be unable to invoke diplomatic immunity because he was not stationed in the Philippines. At number 7, a 9-month-old boy charged with attempted murder in Pakistan is granted bail. The toddler was arrested in February along with family members for allegedly throwing stones at police during a raid. The judge noted the absurd nature of the case and quickly granted bail for the toddler, but he cannot dismiss the case. The boy's grandfather says he doesn't even know how to pick up his milk bottle properly. How can he stone the police? And at number 9, protesters in San Francisco wave banners outside the home of Google Ventures partner Kevin Rose, calling him a parasite. CNN says it's the latest in a wave of anti-tech industry protests in the city over the past year. Protesters say an influx of highly paid tech workers is driving up rent, forcing out longtime residents and robbing the city of its famously eccentric character. Most of the anger focused on big companies Google and Twitter. Rose, co-founder of news aggregation site Dig, says he agrees with the protesters, adding, "We need to solve rising rent, keep the SF culture, and crack down on landlords booting folks out." For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. On the second day of his trial, South African athlete Oscar Pistorius speaks about his relationship with Riva Steenkamp, the girlfriend he killed last year, allegedly in self-defense. Pistorius says he was besotted with Steenkamp and the couple was planning a life together despite troubles in their relationship. The athlete explains a series of text messages, including one where Steenkamp said she was scared of Pistorius. Pistorius says it was sent during a bad day in their relationship. On the first day of his trial, Pistorius addressed Steenkamp's family, saying, "I can't imagine the pain and the sorrow and the emptiness that I have caused you and your family." Pistorius is accused of intentionally murdering Steenkamp, but the athlete maintains he thought she was an intruder and accidentally shot her. Every story on Rappler has a mood meter which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel and your vote comes down to the mood navigator in the middle of the front page, which crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories that got the most clicks. Today's mood navigator has stories mostly in purple and green. Chris Aquino, Herbert Bautista dating, a chance at forever? 32% of readers feel annoyed. 28% don't care. Most employers favor fresh grads from top 4 Philippine schools. 50% are annoyed, 27% are happy. But the story that got the most votes is of course today's top story, the landmark Supreme Court ruling. SC declares RH law constitutional, 92% happy, only 3% sad, and 1% angry. All contributing to the mood of the day today, most people are happy. That's Rappler's Newscast for today, Tuesday, April 8th, 2014. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscasts Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Ai Makaraig na si Say at Rappler. Tomorrow begins today.